So, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. I want to put this music in the background.
Yeah, I think you need to change the music.
We are finishing up Green Shirt Guy's trilogy for the Crime Saga, and the movie that we are spotlighting is Spotlight, directed by Tom McCarthy, starring Mark Ruffalo, Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams. The true story of how the Boston Globe uncovered the massive scandal of child, I won't say the word because of the algorithm, and cover up within the Catholic Archdiocese, shaking the entire Catholic Church to its core. I'm just going to say off the bat, and then I'll give it to Green Shirt Guy. This movie hit me hard. Being someone of faith, and just looking out, and the extent that an institution, a Christian institution, a Christ institution, will go to cover up atrocities like this blew my mind. But Green Shirt Guy, I always give you the first. What do you have to say about this movie?
I'll go into what you just said in a second. As far as the movie goes, I've seen this movie a handful of times since I saw it the first time. It's a very tough subject matter to talk and think about. However, from a movie aspect, I love movies where you're with them and you're getting the pieces and figuring things out, and you can watch them. That's why I like a lot of crime dramas, because I don't like the crime itself, but I do like and find interesting watching detectives and so forth put all the pieces together of a puzzle and figuring stuff out. I always find that fascinating, and just the mind work behind stuff like that. That said, when I saw this movie, usually every year around Oscar time, I try to watch whatever the best picture nominees were, and back then it was only like 5 or 6. So when this came out, I saw, I think it was 4 of the 5, and the last one, I hadn't seen this one. The last one I saw was The Big Short, which I almost made one of the 5 because it's also technically a crime movie to think about it. And I thought that was the best movie I'd seen that year. I'm like, how did this not win the Oscar? And then I saw this movie about 2 weeks later. I'm like, I can see why Spotlight won the Oscar. Everyone scores in this movie.
There were so many
good
movies in the 2016 Oscars.
Are amazing. I mean, nobody is bad in it. The stories, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, yeah. I think this is. I think I said this last week. I think this is the first movie we've reviewed that won an Oscar for Best Picture. Some of the ones we've reviewed in the past have won for other things, but I don't think anything has won for Best Picture before this. So that's my. I'll let you guys talk, and I'll jump in where
Go ahead, guys. Whoever wants to go.
Oh yeah, because this is a topic everyone's dying.
Well, that's it.
We gotta talk about the movie. We gotta talk about the movie.
When talking about predatorial sexual abuse, movies like Spotlight really bring it to the forefront. With a phenomenal cast, you can take the most horrific subject matter and get yourself an Academy Award. But no, seriously, I was actually this morning. I was talking about with Seabizzle how there was a deacon and a priest from when I was growing up in my area. And, at the end of the movie, they're like, oh, Poughkeepsie. And I was like, well, what? They couldn't say Newburgh? They just used Poughkeepsie to generalize?
I didn't see
Goshen's on there, too.
Goshen, yeah, I saw Goshen. I couldn't tell Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, how dare they? But, we had 2 scandals in Newburgh. Why aren't we good enough? So
maybe they clumped them. Well, maybe they went by diocese. Maybe the Newburgh
by diocese?
Church are technically part of the Poughkeepsie.
But the diocese in New York is one. So,
that was one of the most horrible parts. That was of the movie, was the fact that they were going after one of the priests.
Yes.
And then it elevated to 4 of the priests. And as they kept going,
it got
when they talked to the expert guy, he's like, oh, I said about 6%. And he's like, 6% of what? And he's
Yes.
like, of all of priests. So he's
Yes.
like, well, how many would you say? He say about 90 in Boston.
90.
And then when they went and checked and
Like
double checked it, they
88?
came up to 87.
Which
Yeah.
yeah, well, he said it. That's the metric that bears out.
That was frightening because then I was like, wait a minute. That's Boston. That's a city that has media, has cameras on
Well,
them. You know what I
let's
mean?
Can we say
This
this
is
though?
2001 that this started, by the way.
Yeah.
Can we say
So-
this though? And let's not make this an indictment of the Catholic Church, because as much as the Catholic Church has its flaws, I'm not standing up for them.
I think it is an indictment of the
Well,
Catholic
hold on,
Church.
hold on. Let me finish. It's this certainly is, and I'm not whitewashing at all. I think it's horrible. I can't condemn it any more than we will. It's not. I don't want to say it's not everybody in that Catholic Church is doing it.
No, agreed.
That's my
Agreed.
point.
Agreed.
Is there are some bad apples that have now controlled other people, but of that, there's still plenty of good apples within that organization, and
Right.
the church in general. So
Right.
so we
And
can't-
I agree with you on
that's
that
what
point.
that's what I'm trying to say.
The only thing
don't wanna
I would say
and
back
watch
to that
it
is
for the next 20 minutes, just bash the Catholic Church. 'cause
when
I
we
think
no. There are a lot of good people in the Catholic Church. But what I would go against that, not go against, but just my counter to that would be the percentages of just Boston. And remember, at the end of the movie, it wasn't 90. It was 249 that they found in Boston. So
in the Boston,
look,
greater Boston area.
yeah, in the greater Boston area. So I was like, oh my God. What that guy said was like 6% of all. Imagine every city in the United States.
Well, that's assuming
having almost, but just imagine that though. He was right about Boston by like that.
Right.
Imagine in New York. Imagine in California if this is going on. Now, right, here's where I indict the church. This isn't some 1-2 little bad apples. This is like a disease that's spread out through the whole church that wasn't cut off and tried to remove. They hid it, and they moved these people who they knew were doing these things to kids, and they moved them to other churches where they showed that they did it again and again and again. And the cardinals they talk about, Cardinal Law, whatever that knew about it all, he gets promoted to the Vatican.
Well, that's one of the problems is that.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why it hurts me as someone of faith. Like, I can understand people saying, okay, well, well, it's not the Catholic Church at all. It's not. But it's more than enough that every single Catholic church and the people in those churches should be like, all right, we're not doing a sermon today. This is happening in our churches. Let's figure this out right now. Let's get rid of everybody that's doing this. Let's not reassign them. Let's even give them to the police to get prosecuted. Let's root it out, but not one attempt. And I went back and I was like, wait a minute, this movie was made a long time ago. Let me go do some research. And Kamari helped me with the research. Articles for like 2 years ago where commissions from the very own Vatican said that this is still going on and that they're still being secretive about it.
There are bad apples still acting.
Right.
And
then
in good faith.
And I don't want to jump completely down to Catholic Church because I did more research, and it's not just the Catholic Church.
No, it is not.
It's worldwide.
It's the other denominations as well that are doing. So it's like a disease that's running through the Christian faith.
Well,
that I feel the Christian people are not doing enough to root it out.
I would say this though. Here's the other thing. Is you can point your finger at the Catholic Church, you can point your finger at any denomination around the country, and I'm not saying what they did was okay. I'm not saying that. So hear me in bold strokes. I'm not saying that, but it takes more than just them because the police were allowed it to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
The lawyers allowed it to happen.
Yeah,
multiple levels of people allowed it to happen. It wasn't just the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church
even in
the
movie, Michael Keaton's character missed it.
Even he,
yes.
And that was a great twist in the movie. Because I thought the other guy with the white hair, I thought he was the one that did it. But when they twisted it, that it was Michael Keaton. I was like, oh.
When she brings him, like, I looked at our clips and it was there, and it was like you didn't know. Even when she brought it to him, like you didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
He ran the story.
I mean,
You know what I
one of
mean?
the greatest lines of the whole movie, though, when we're talking about stuff like that, is when I can't remember who they're talking with, and Ruffalo says something. Someone says, "Well, why didn't we do this early? Why didn't they say something earlier?" Meaning the parents and the other parishioners, and he said something like, "Well, good Germans," and he's like, "You don't want to make that association." It's like, well, it kind of is similar association that when it's what's that famous quote about. All it takes is one good person not to say anything to allow evil to continue.
Yeah. Or the right person not to say anything to make others not say anything.
Well, that too.
You know what I mean?
I also love Billy Crudup because the what's his name? I can't remember. He plays the big lawyer at the huge firm that they meet with a couple times.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like a scumbag at the beginning of the movie. But by the end, he's like, no, I told you guys about
he's like, I
so
sent you stuff.
I'm at least getting these people something. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. And I'm not perfect either, but you guys didn't do anything either. So don't jump down my throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, you said
I like that. Like, how do we want to write it? Do we want to talk about the priest doing it, or the lawyers that are helping getting paid off of it?
And that's when he comes back at him. He's like, I sent you the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that Walter, the real life Walter Robinson, played by Michael Keaton here. I love that the movie captured things from the man in real life. That he was, he was ethically torn. He was protective of his team. He's a pragmatic man. He has a lot of Boston native loyalty. He's And these are things that they talked to the real Walter about, and Michael Keaton brought it to life on screen so beautifully. And it speaks to me because it's like I don't have to be in Boston to know that I've met someone like this in my life, right?
Right.
And
every city's like that, but
every city's like that. We're gonna have the same villains, and we're gonna have sometimes the same heroes, And the truth of the matter is that everybody's flawed, right? So even here. Walter sees his own flaw and has to fight internally to be like, but the right thing is for us to have an awakening about this.
Yeah.
And of course it's like, all right, let's run it, let's do it. But to know that, oh my God, I missed that. Yeah.
I mean, one of the tougher things for it to watch towards the end too is when Ruffalo goes at him. He's like, we got him dead to rights. Let's run the story. He's like, no, we don't. If we put it out now, we're only going to get this much, but we can get everything. And I got to imagine the struggle mentally to go, we have to keep letting it happen so we can get the whole thing.
Well, listen, people had to do that in World War II. Oh, our code system works. We have a computer that gives us information, right? But we can't save that boat because then they'll know we know.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine the horror that you have to just choke down, you know? And like, I don't know what they did in real life. And you know how sometimes something terrible and you're in a situation where you just can't do enough, but all you can do is like, you see someone, it's like, yo, my man, don't go in there. Don't hang with those people. Like, that's the best you can do,
Right.
And be like, listen, just stay away. Sometimes you can say, stay away from that element because otherwise, what are you doing? You're just, slander and
information.
It's libel, right?
Yeah, slander's verbal, print is libel.
Right, so you could be slandering somebody, but it's like, yo, my man, I ain't got proof, but I'm just telling you, it ain't cool. Stay away, And it's funny, like, going back to when I was a kid, and I told Seabizzle this, there was this one young priest, and he had a hot car, right? And he was always taking kids to the roller rink, and my mom was like, no way. Now, of course, I was too young, but like my brother and my sister were old enough, and she's like, don't go anywhere with that dude.
Yeah.
It's not even like my mother it's not even like my mother had those thoughts, right? She was just like, I don't like the idea of this young priest running around in a sports car. That was it. And later on, when it turned out that her suspicions were worse than she imagined, terrible. But
it's just like that part in the movie where the guy, he was researching and he found out that one of their
don't say where it is.
All right.
I know just don't say where it is.
But he found out where it was, you know what I mean? Like, and he went running.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, yeah, and then I loved it at the end when he walked up and he threw the paper on their front step. But yeah, make sure you read this. See, Bizzle, you haven't said much. I'd like to hear what you got to say about
the
this.
The tough
movie.
part for him too is, remember when he goes in and he's like, look, I know what we do is confidential, but there's a bunch of kids in my neighborhood. He's like, you can't tell anybody, or this will blow the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real hard as a person. How can you sleep at night knowing that you know that somebody's doing some harmful things to children, and you know you cannot release it at that time because you're not going to get everybody.
Yeah.
Just like when he wanted to release it, when Mark Ruffalo wanted to release, release the news about it, they said no, because if you release it, we won't get anybody, and the church will just bury it.
Yeah,
we won't get everybody that's supposed to.
Because look how deep, when they were going to look for files, like they were removing court papers, like.
Well, and that's the thing.
Crazy.
Sealed envelopes.
They can't do that. Someone in the office has to.
Right. That's how deep that is. Like you guys are.
He had so much trouble getting that too.
It made me sick. That wait a minute, these things are happening to kids, and people out there were like, "No, I want to protect. I want to protect this place." I'm like, are you kidding me? You want to protect this place?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just whew. Bit much. All right, but what?
I also did love the conversation on the bench with Ruffalo and Tucci, and he's like, basically, he's like, we got him. He goes, what do you mean? Yeah. More or less, we got him. He's like, it's public record now.
Yes.
Go get the public record.
Get the public record.
I don't have to wait for this.
But remember, he's like, yeah, it's public record. He's like, well, I'll go get it right now. He's like, you'll go there, but you won't find anything.
Right. Yeah.
What?
But then they played 3D chess because they got him to the other guy to file a motion, so they had to attach the documents again.
Yeah.
Again. And then every struggle, like the printer thing closed, and he had to pay the guy $80. Oh, I'm sorry. He had to pay a guy certain money to get that through. But let's get into.
What was it? I think Phil knows. Let's see if Phil can answer.
It was 9/11.
9/11.
It was 9/11.
9/11. They had to drop everything.
That was a crazy part of the movie. Like you had to drop everything. Wow.
That stuff, because this is like it's a good story of investigative journalism. And that stuff happens all the time, where your investigation what you're investigating gets delayed because like real world stuff is still happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I love too when that first part of that section begins. There's the woman watching the footage on TV, and you see the smoke coming out of the tower, and she says, "I don't know, it was like a prop plane hit it or something." And I remember thinking that when I heard a plane hit the tower, I'm like, "Oh, some prop plane just got lost his bearings and went. I don't know why he's that close to the city." What nationality does Mike Resendez claim he is?
Oh, I got that. Portuguese.
He says he's Portuguese, and I love it. I love Tucci's like, really? He's like, yeah. Let's see. And then, well, one of them he kind of gave away, but we can do it. How much money does Resendez give the records room to make copies?
Oh, $83.
$83.
Right.
And finally,
I remember
we see this in the closing moments. How many stories did Spotlight run? Or did they publish about the scandal in 2002?
600.
600. Yeah.
600.
Close
Doesn't say
600. Yeah.
Close to 600.
Jeez. All right, those are great questions, Green Shirt Guy. Thank you for that. Let's get into some numbers. I'm going to start the bar off mad high. I'm going to give you my number. I give this movie a 10. I give it a 10. I thought this movie, the acting was on point. The pacing was on point. The story mattered. Like, just revealing that information, the way they revealed it was great. I give it a 10. That's me. Phil?
I am not that high. I am slightly higher than IMDb. I am giving it an 8.5. I think it is a good story of investigative journalism, where it's not really like the like this is the movie version of that investigation stuff. But I think it's an 8.5. It's still a really good, and I enjoyed it. There's other movies like this, and investigative journalism is one of those things that like support, and like follow and read, learn about the world. So, yeah, I'm giving it 8.5, 8.5.
Mm-hmm. See, Bizzle?
I'm going slightly lower. This was a great movie. This is not one of the movies that I'm comfortable watching, more than once or twice. It's not saying it's a bad movie. It's just the subject matter is something I don't actively want to say, hey, I'm going to check this movie out. But I still give it a solid 8.
All right. Clifford?
Well, I got 2 scores.
Okay.
You want to hear it? As
Yes.
as a movie that I would watch, an 8. But as a piece of cinema, a 10. Because it's executed beautifully. I fact checked this movie, and unlike other movies based on a true story, they went deep out of their way. I mean, there are changes for the sake of drama, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they stayed they stayed the course as much as humanly possible with the storytelling. Like the fact that they went so far their way to interview real life people and all of that was great. But the execution, the cinematography, the muted colors, the music, at no point is the music overpowering or taking you out of the movie, right? Like it's a 10. It's cinema can really speak volumes, and this is one of those movies that actually uses cinema to amplify the story, right? Like it, and that's why I'm giving it. That's why I got 2 scores, because like as far as execution, it's a 10. Like,
so you want to split it and make it a 9 for you?
I'll split it and make it a 9. But it's like but like as far as like, oh, hey, I want to watch a deep movie. Like I don't know. Like I'm never like, oh, tonight's a night for a deep movie.
Right.
All right, Grinch guy, your turn.
So, I maybe piggybacking off that last thing that Cliff said. I think they this is just my own thoughts. They probably made sure that they went and interviewed all the people and tried to be as accurate to the story as they could, so that it couldn't be blown off as like, well, they made that, they stick to it, but they really made stuff up for. No, you can't. With something like this, you can't take liberties because it'll get blown off.
Yeah.
So I think, cognizant of that, they try to stay as close as they can. I think I agree with just about I can't give it a 10. I do. I love this movie for the cinematic reasons. The subject matter is tough to think about. But yeah, the acting's fun. Like it's one of those movies. It's weird. It's one of those movies that I can put on, and I don't do this with a ton of movies, that I can put on in the background because I know what is going on, and I'll check in at points that I want to see, like the conversation where they're sitting on the bench outside and he tells them, we got him on record, and different things like that. I'll check in. So if it's weird, if I'm drawing, this is a movie I would put on the draw because I don't have to look at the screen the whole time.
What's your number?
But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'd go with a 9 as well. I can't give it a 10, but I give it a 9.
That gives it an 8.9, ladies and gentlemen. 8.9. 0.8 above the IMDb. Thank you very much, Green Shirt Guy, for this movie. I sincerely thank you for letting me watch this movie.
I remember that. Can I leave you this one thing? I remember watching this the first time, and you're heartbroken through the whole thing, and then they list the diocese at the end, and I'm like, please don't have Rochester on there. Please don't have Rochester on there. And then it came up, and I'm like, my heart sunk. I was like, because it's not going to be in every. They're not going to show every city, but I'm like, that's where I grew up. I'm like, please don't be on there. Please don't. And then it was. And I was like,
very sad, but a great trilogy.
And it's there.
Yeah.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. A great trilogy, Green Shirt Guy. Thank you for that crime genre. We really, really appreciate it.
Brightest day. Where are the heroes?